Hi, welcome to yoga. It's Loretta. Thanks for joining us today. Before we get started, I wanted to talk about that new breath we did last week. It's not new, I mean, it's an extremely old breath, but a new breath for our class, and that was the alternate nostril breathing technique. And so let's just do it today and go right into it. If you take your thumb and your middle finger, put them alongside both sides of your nose, use your right hand, put them alongside both sides of your nose, put your middle finger kind of bent up and your other fingers just curled in. Very simple, very, very simple. And then you breathe in through the left nostril and out through the right nostril. You just kind of rotate back and forth, in through the right nostril, out through the left. And just open up the nostrils as you do it. In through the left, out through the right. And relax. In through the right. Close it off, out through the left. In through the left, and out through the right. Let's do 2 more cycles. In through the right, out through the left, in through the left, out through the right. And after our next breath in through the left, let go and let your breath flow through both sides, breathing through your nostrils. And see what that breath did for you. That breath should open you up all the way through, even out both sides of you. Start to activate your breath cycles so that you're more completely present and you're breathing more evenly, and you will start breathing from the tummy. So let's take 3 more deep breaths, and these can be the 1 cycles. And on our 3rd exhale, let's go ahead and chant the sound of Om. So let's begin with our breath. Make them deep. Deep, deep here. And for the sound. Before we get started, I just wanted to read something really quickly to you, just so you could kind of keep it in your brain and let it germinate throughout the session and just see if it resonates with you. The flow of the universe moves through everything. It's in the rocks that form, get pounded into dust, and are blown away. The sprouting of a summer flower born from a seed planted in the spring, the growth cycle that every human being goes through, and the current that takes us down our life's paths. When we move with the flow, rather than resisting it, we are riding on the universal current that allows us to flow with life. Many people live their lives struggling against this current. They try to use force or resistance to will their lives into happening the way they think it should. Others move with this flow like a sailor, using the wind, trusting that the universe is taking them exactly where they need to be at all times. This flow is accessible to everyone because it moves through and around us. We are always riding this flow. It's just a matter of whether we are willing to go with it or resist it. Tapping into the flow is often a matter of letting go of the notion that we need to be in control at all times. The flow is always taking you where you need to go. It's just a matter of deciding whether you plan on taking the ride or dragging your feet. So I just wanted to read that because being in flow is something that that can make our lives so easy and so natural, and fighting, not so much. So keeping that in mind, let's try to be in flow with our process here in our yoga class and begin with our arms, sitting on our chairs, hips width apart, feet grounded, legs grounded, up and to the center, up and to the center. Welcome today. It's a beautiful sunlight day outside. Makes me feel happy and whole. Come on back up and push them out. Use your arms, bring them back up to the center and push them out. Two more. Last one and down. And then we're going to go out and in. You know these. Two more. Here's the first one. And here's the second. Now bring your hands up and let's take circles and bring them out, and let's take circles in one direction with our arms out. I'm trying to make my arms even here. Let's see if I can do that. Circles, circles, circles. Slow it down, go in the opposite direction. I think it's just true that everybody's arm and everybody's shoulder has a difference in height. So at any rate, bring it to a slow down, and then bring your hands to the front, push them out, and we're going to take a high altar pose. Bring your arms up and over your head with your head looking at your hands, and breathe. Couple more breaths here. And bring it on down and down to the bottom. Then let's take our hands and let's do our tricep stretch, bringing our hands to opposite elbows. And let's center our head in between with our ears pointing directly at our arms. And let's open up and take a few deep breaths here. And what breath does is breath helps us come into flow. It helps us to integrate our body movements in our heart, in our life. Two more deep breaths here. Last one. And bring your arms down. And let's go to our shoulders. First, let's say up and down, up and down. Go ahead and put your shoulders shrug, kind of shrugging your neck at the same time in here. Last one here. And then let's say in and out, in and out. Just simply moving your hands, and it'll move and rotate your shoulders. Two more of these. And now let's bring our arms, take your hands, put them together in the back of your head. And let's take a few, stretching it really far out and opening our heart, opening our being, and then come together in the contraction and bring your elbows together. And breathe with that. Out and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Two more of these. Last one. And come on back. And just to finish opening that up, let's take and do our swimming move. Turning our head at the same time. Just rotating those shoulders, opening them wide up, getting some synovial fluid flowing. Say that 3 times fast. Synovial fluid, I love that word. But it really does help to get our fluids moving and flowing before we get started so we don't hurt anything. One more on both sides. Here's the first on this side and on this side, and bring it to the center. And let's look at our head and neck. How are we feeling? Let's try those infinity circles, opening up with our chin, using it as our pointer, going across. It's like a figure 8 on its side, or like a racetrack. Mine feels pretty good, but let's bring it to the center and shake our head no. Start it small. And then if you want, you can make it larger. It's up to you how much you want to move your neck. No, 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 no. And then bring it back into slowness and bring it to the center and stop. And take our head and do a deep breath in and turn to the right with your neck. Hold it there for one breath. All the way through with a full exhale, and then bring it back to center and do the same with the other side. And turn. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And come on back to center. Take that figure 8 for just a minute on its side, the infinity circle. Let's see how that felt to your neck. Couple no's, softly, bring it to the center, and let's do yeses. Yes, 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 yes. And you can do that. And then when you come and you finish saying yes, come to the middle gently, and let's take our finger and lift our chin all the way up. Lift it up, open your chest, open your heart, open your solar plexus, and just sit there a moment and breathe. Full expansion. One more breath. And then bring your finger back and gently lower your chin into a contracted state against your sternum. Drop your head, drop your shoulders, and breathe. Take one more really deep breath in and out. And then gently bring your finger and bring your head back up. A couple more infinity circles. How do you feel? I feel pretty good myself, so I say maybe a couple more no's just to loosen it up. And then come on back to center with a couple of yeses. And go ahead and let's move on down our body. Let's begin by taking, let's begin by doing something that will activate our stomach, our back, our shoulders, our chest. Let's begin by taking our hands in back. And we're going to take a deep breath in and fold over our chest on the exhale. Come back up and down. Up and down. Two more. One more. Last one. Come all the way down if you can. And pull yourself back up using your core. And then go ahead and drop. And go ahead and let's just start rotating ourselves circularly, getting our spine open, making our waist know that we're about to indulge it with some exercise. And some very, very, very good breath work right to the stomach. Take your left hand, put it on your right knee. Put your other hand, go ahead and put it anywhere you want. You can bring it back to the chair if you like. You can bring it to your waist, or you can put it on the chair. I'm going to bring it to my waist this time. Now, we're going to do some deep breathing with some twists that completely expel all of the breath inside of you. And we're going to do 3 of those. Now, if you need to make it so that it's a little bit more difficult, hold your head so that your eyes keep a focus point and you don't move your head. You keep your eyes focused on the same drewski. That'll add intensity to it. Now, if your neck is in any kind of wobbly shape, go ahead and turn your head with it and don't worry about that. But if you want it to be tougher, just keep your eyes on a drewski point and look nowhere else. And do your deep breath in and twist. One more. And come on back to center. Do the same on the other side. Find a drewski point if you want this to be a little tougher. Bring your hand back or to your waist. Take a deep breath in and twist. Now it's important that you use your torso to do the twist and not pull yourself or push yourself using your hands and your arms. And it's also important to keep your neck light and airy. So come on back to the center and let's go ahead and move into our side bends. Take your left hand, and this time I'm gonna just drop my hand down to the side. Bring your right hand up, straight up. Feel your energy. Feel that cycle of flow, the flow of your energy from the tip of your fingers all the way down through your toes and then back up again. And let's take a deep breath in and over. Keep your chest open. Now, if you want to drop your hand down your chair, you can. It extends the stretch. Just make sure your heart is still open and you're not collapsing. And on your next breath in, as you exhale, and then come on back up. And let's do the other side. Arm straight up, other arm to the side. Feel yourself, being yourself right here. Deep breath in and stretch. Some people have good chair legs that they can just slide this arm down, the other arm. If that's true for you and it feels comfortable, go ahead and do it. And come on back up. All right. And let's bring our hands to our waist. And let's just take a few waist movements, side to side. We aren't moving our hips, we're just moving our waist and our torso. And let's just kind of even that out. And drop your hands to your knees, and let's begin with our cat-cows. And let's begin in the cow. So deep breath coming up, expansion, tuck your shoulders, tuck your neck, come on back in for contraction, expansion. Go ahead and do this. Feel your whole spine. It's starting to move your energy up, starting to activate your hips, starting to include other parts of your body. One more cat-cow. And as you come up, come into the cow, and then in the cat, lift your left leg, or your right leg, your right leg on your cat and drop it. We're gonna do 5 in that direction, in 1 foot at a time. So that's where I got a little mixed up last time, but I think I have it really down this time. So it's cow, cat, cow, dancing cat. Let's do a couple more on this side. And actually, I saw people dance with their hands down too. So if you want to do that and then change sides. Now we're really moving, right? We're really doing the dance. Get your arms moving, get your body moving. That's the part that feels the best. One more. And bring it back down. And let's take and spread our legs. Spread our legs to our goddess position, which is with our heels pointed in and our toes pointed out. And sitting on the edge of the chair again, sitting up straight, bring your arms up, goddess position. Your whole body is in alignment, and you're going to breathe deeply. Take a couple of really strong breaths here. One more. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is to drop your right arm down your right leg and raise your other arm straight up and take a twist here. And come on back up. Drop your other arm down, raise this arm up and take a twist. This is a goddess twist. It's not easy, but it does a lot for your body. Let's just do a few of them. A couple more on each side. Just flow from one side to the other. One more on both sides. So this is the last one. And come on in and sit up straight. And while we're in our goddess position, let's go ahead and do a goddess circle. So that entails using your rib cage as your primary mover. And we're going to say, go to the back, go to the side, go to the front, to the side, to the back. Let's do a couple more of these. One more. Come all the way to the back, stop and go the other way. Take one more full complete circle. And then we'll come on back and we'll stop. Bring our legs together. And let's take, okay. Those of you who cannot lift your leg, we're going to do a marching sequence starting on the right leg, and we'll go out and over. Now, if you can't do that, do out and over and cross your ankles out and down, out and over, out and down. Going to do two more on this leg. Last one. And then bring it up again and hold it over and sit up straight. And let's do a gentle fold over the leg. So a deep breath. Tuck your chin, drop your arms. And release. If you're doing it lower, do the same thing, just releasing your energy. And if you're ready, come on back up and let's do the other leg. So it can either be out and over, out and down, or it can be out and over, out and down. One more of these. Last one. And then bring it back up for the fold over. Sit up straight, take a deep breath, and lay over your lap. Sitting on the edge of your chair at all times. And relax and breathe. One more deep breath. In and out. And then come on up. Okay, because I read today, I'm probably going to have to hurry a couple of things up if we want to have enough time. So let us stand up and let's just take a few right off the top of our leg openers. So stand at the side of your chair and step back with your foot closest to the chair. And let's just bend a few times, like bend our knees gently. Couple more times. And then straighten your legs, push your hips back, lean down, use your chair if you need to. Come on down and touch the floor if you can, straightening the back of your knees especially, but the back of your legs. This is an intense back stretch for your legs. Come on back up. And from there, go ahead and bring your legs together. And let's do a couple of balancing things. Let's gently start to move to the foot that's closest to the chair and lift up your other foot and take a quad stretch. And go ahead and turn it into a balancing pose if you can. You've got your foot in your hand. You're standing on one leg, stretching your quad and balancing. Yay. Take a couple more deep breaths and bring it down. Okay. I don't want to fall out of it. Give me just a second, Henry. Don't ever, if you fall out of something, go back into it until you have control and then bring yourself out. So. And bring it down. And let's go to the other side. And let's make sure that we step back with the foot closest to the chair. And let's take some knee bends. One more. And then straighten your legs, push your hips back, bring yourself forward, lengthening those legs, lengthening the backs of them all. And come down to your chair. And if you can, bring your hand to the floor. If you can't, that's okay too. Either way, just come on down until you feel that stretch and then come on back up. And then let's take the quad stretch and turn it into a balanced move if we can. No harm, no foul if you use the chair at all. I mean, it's equal to. So don't think that one way of doing a pose gives you any more intensity for the pose. So I guess what I want to say. So go ahead, get your balance, take your leg, lift it up, get your quad stretching, get your balance, take it up, up. One side is always, always easier than the other. And breathe. And gently bring your quad back down. And let's take our downward facing dog, because I really don't like to slight this move. I think it's one of the most important there is in yoga for some reason. It just balances every part of your body. Hands on the chair, fingers spread out, thumb is equal distance as the other fingers. Step back so that you're flat-footed. If you start to go up on your toes, come back in just a smidge. Keep your feet flat. All right, straighten your back, bring your head between your arms, drop your shoulders, lift your rear end, and straighten your legs. And breathe. Now, some people drop their head really low in a downward facing dog, but it's traditionally done with keeping your head keeping your ears between your shoulders, so your head is flat with your arms. And take a couple more deep breaths here, because this is an amazing pose. And then let's go into our, let's come forward, stretch out over it, bring your head up, or plank. Keep your head even, your toes are pushing up, and breathe. Take a couple of more deep breaths here. This is a very strong pose to have. And then come on back up. And let's take our wide-legged pose. See, I like to put mine as far as I can because I really like this pose. Now step back a little if you need to. Go ahead and drop your shoulders, drop your head. Keep your back as flat as you can. Your rear end up in the air and your legs straight. Breathe from your belly. And then release it. One more really good deep breath here. Drop your hands. You know me, I'm going to come into this straddle. Lift your right arm up and out and down. Out and down. Out and down. One more on each side. And then bring your hands out to your feet. Now you can bend your knees a little and just see if you can wrap your arms around your feet, around your ankles. Dropping your head and breathing. Bring your hands back around, lift them out, and raise yourself back up using your core. Okay, now I just want to make sure we have enough time. What I'd like us to do is maybe the Warrior 2 series. So come to the top, step back with your foot that's closest to the chair, put it into a 90-degree angle. Your front foot comes forward, you bend at the knee. Oh, here's what I wanted to show you. I've seen other people do this way, and I really believe it's a better way. So taking your feet exactly like they were, but stand in back of your chair so that you can use the chair as the guideline for keeping your hips pointed forward. And lift your arms and turn your head, keeping your hips pointed towards the chair. Take one more deep breath and let it out. Drop your back arm, raise your front arm, come on back, look under your arm, keeping your front knee bent. You can still see those two toes that are not your big toe. Hips are still pointed towards the chair. One more deep breath. Reverse warrior, and come on back down to the beautiful, beautiful star. Okay, now switch feet. Come to the, okay, in this case, I'm gonna just keep the chair where it is and step back. Your back foot turns perpendicular. Your right foot goes forward. See how my hips are lined up with that chair seat? That's important. Line your heels up together and raise your arms out and turn your head. And breathe. And go ahead and drop your back arm and raise your front arm, looking under it. 2 more breaths. Last one. Come on back up into the lovely star. Okay. Let's come back to our chairs. Was that enough leg for you for today? I'll make sure we do double duty on legs next week. Come on back to the center and let's just go circularly. You can do it from your waist this time and maybe your hips. And let's stop and take about 5 pelvic tilts without raising ourselves. So all we're doing is moving our hips and our pelvic floor. So come forward, and we're doing it all through contraction and expansion of our lower pelvic floor area. Take a couple more. So you go concave like the cat, expansion like the cow. And then stop. And then let's just take our hips and let's just do them in circles on those sis bones. Take a few wide circles on the sis bones. That brings the energy up. Take them in the opposite direction. And come on back and settle. And before we go into Shavasana, let's take a breathing technique once more. What I'd like us to do is to take deep breaths, and as we exhale, exhale to. So let's begin. Let yourself release all of the air that you inhale as you exhale completely. Let's do a few more. Two more. And as we come back to the center, let's not forget our hands. Let's just turn them, creating movement and flexibility, and remembering how tired and sore our wrists and our fingers, go the other way, get at the end of every single day, how much we use our hands. Bring our hands together, turn them around, out and in, our fingers. Two more. And then gently find your most comfortable position. And let's start slowly shutting our eyes and closing down our bodies and coming to a stillness inside of ourselves that supports the integration and the release and the trust and the flow of Shavasana. When we're in flow, everything on this universe becomes available to us just when we need it most. Not when we think we have to have it or how we can control ourselves to get it, but when we need it. When we're in flow, the whole universe is in flow. When we're in flow with the universe, and the universe is in flow with us. It's mutual. So let's quietly start closing ourselves inward with our eyes closed, and I'll be quiet. And then I'll let you know when it's time for us to come back. So gently go ahead and go there. And gently feel yourself rising back up out of your heart center, out of your pelvic floor, out of your feet. Start at your feet, I think, and then rise all the way up. Bring yourself all the way up and open your eyes. And what do you need right now? What do you need to be in flow? Maybe you need to lift your foot and circle your ankles a couple of times and go the other way and point and flex. Whatever you need, do it. I'm doing this because it feels like this is something my body still needs. I still need those feet to be active and I still need them to participate. Go the other way. And point and flex and point and flex. And bring your feet down. And let's take 3 deep breaths with the third as we exhale, chanting the sound of Om to close our practice together. So let all that air out. Bring in fresh, good air and let it all out. Bring in the fresh, good air and chant Om. Bring your hands together in the prayer position. Let's gently acknowledge and respect and honor that primary teacher in every one of us that guides and directs our lives daily. The light in me sees the light in you and feels blessed because of it. Namaste. Thank you for coming. Maybe we'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Thanks for coming.